What is going on, guys? It's your boy BigDyllan, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Just let me sort my chair out. There we go. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Go Fast update. I'm going to give you my final impressions on it, whether it's good, bad, the ugly, sort of review it. So yeah, let's just get straight to it. So we'll start off with the Warlock, then we'll go Titan, then we'll go Hunter. We'll talk about the movement on each of the classes, then we'll get into weapons and game modes, all that sort of stuff. So Warlock, as of right now, probably benefited the most from this update, at least in my opinion. Warlock skating is now back. It's definitely a thing. I have been loving this update. I can actually play Warlock again in PvP and be effective against really highly skilled players. Beforehand, I was pretty much forced to play Hunter. So yeah, overall, for me, I'm very happy. Dawnblade received a really good buff. If you've not seen any clips of the Dawnblade moving around the map yet, it's pretty crazy. You'll probably end up playing against one or two of them anyway. People are testing the subclass out. However, most people are testing it, liking the movement speed, but not liking the actual super and stuff so much, you know. It's still a pretty lackluster super, requires a lot of skill to use. So overall though, for me, I'm really happy. I'm going to continue to main Dawnblade. I've been using Dawnblade since the game came out. So overall, very happy with it. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for Dawnblade. To mention, Stormcaller, Voidwalker be pretty solid subclasses as well, I could imagine. At least with the movement speed combined into those, so that'll be really nice. Moving on to the Titans. I haven't played Titan yet, haven't had the chance. I've just been having so much fun on my Warlock. But I have seen a lot of people moving around the map a little bit quicker than what it was before the patch came out. So nice to see that Titan skating is kind of back, but not really. I understand a lot of Titan mains are wanting Destiny 1 Titan skating to come into Destiny 2. Hopefully it does. Do I think it will? Probably not, because Bungie probably don't want that level of movement speed, you know, as a standard across the subclass. We'll just have to wait and see. Sentinel, I haven't actually seen anybody on Sentinel yet since the update came out, which is pretty crazy, to be fair, because Sentinel might actually be pretty decent now, to be honest, because it did receive a movement speed buff. So yeah, definitely give that a shot if you are a Titan main. Moving on to Hunters, Arcstrider received an amazing buff, really fun subclass to use. The super is very, very deadly now. If you see an Arcstrider running towards you, you better run the other way, because yeah, it's pretty crazy. The neutral game on Arcstrider beforehand was already really solid, so they pretty much just buffed the actual super up to, you know, to be on par with the neutral game, which is very good. So yeah, Hunters have a very nice, solid Arcstrider subclass to play with. The Night Stalker changes, much needed. I can actually shoot someone when they're invis now and track them properly, which is really nice to be able to do. Golden Gun, I think the 3-shot one needs a buff. I think they should revert the changes, you know, whether they decrease the duration of the Golden Gun, didn't they, for the 3-shot. I think they should just put that back to the way it was for Golden Gun mains. That'd be a very nice change. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it overall for all three of the classes, for Warlock, Titan and Hunter. Warlock pretty much benefited the most, that's all I'm going to say. Which it was needed though, because it was probably the slowest class in the game as is. So moving on, let's get into, should we do weapons now? I think, yeah, we'll go over weapons. So let's start over kinetic weapons. Hand cannons are definitely a lot more usable, very good in their accuracy. Not as much bloom anymore, which is very nice. You can actually land your shots properly, which is very good. No RNG in the bullets you're shooting. Do I think they are usable in PvP? If you're against people who aren't particularly good, yes. But against like really good players that'll probably be using stuff like an SMG and a pulse or something like that, they're in a very sticky situation for me. If you get in a close range gunfight and someone's got an SMG, you're probably just gonna die. they just can't really compete with SMGs in close range. Even a Last Hope or something like that, like a really good sidearm, will probably outgun one. But other than that, I mean, they are still pretty solid. I've seen quite a few people using them, and they seem to be doing okay with them. I personally, from when I tried want to use one in PvP, I don't like them. Until they're a 3-tap to the head, I'm just not interested. Let's see, what other weapons is there? Pulse rifles, Vigilance Wing. Oh my days. Vigilance Wing is so good right now. It's so much fun to use. It's my main go-to weapon. My loadout, I've been using Vigilance Wing, Last Hope, the main ingredient on my Dawnblade Warlock, and I've been having an absolute blast. So it's probably what a lot of the gameplay is going to be in the background as well that you're watching. I mean, that's pretty much it for kinetic weapons. I can't really, you know, there's not really much else to say on the kinetics. Energy weapons, the auto rifles, actually, the Uriel's Gift and stuff like Positive Outlook, they received a range and aim assist nerf at long distances, which it was needed because they were a little bit they had way too much range, in my opinion, for an AR. They're still more than usable, still very competitive and viable weapons. If you actually like using ARs, you can still continue to use them. Pulse rifles in the energy slot, not really seen too many that are too particularly great. To be honest, maybe Darkest Before from the trials, actually that's pretty decent. I feel like that's probably one of the best ones because it's such a high rate of fire. Kinetic pulses as well, you got stuff like Autumn Wind, you got the Time Worn Spire, Lincoln Green, to name a few. They're really fast rate of fire pulses, they absolutely shred. SMG is still really good, little sidearms like Last Hope got a buff, so they're even better than what they were before. Heavy, I've seen a lot of rockets, I've seen a lot of colony and fusion rifles. Couple of people using shotguns, nobody's sniping because the flinch is still absolutely ridiculous, but Bungie have addressed that they are going to work on that for a later patch, because it's a pretty nasty bug that they've got to go through and do each sniper individually, so that is coming, but we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, I think time to kill needs to be increased, because it's still, or is it decrease? Yeah, time to kill needs to be decreased, yeah, because that's a quicker time to kill. There we go. Basically, the time to kill needs to be quicker. To kill someone, it shouldn't take as long as it does. The movement speed is very quick, and then you get up close and personal to someone, then you sort of sat there for 30 seconds trying to kill each other. It just doesn't really go with the flow of the game at the moment. It feels pretty just awkward, to say the least. So time to kill definitely needs to be changed. Weapon system, I would still like to see the Destiny 1 weapon system come into the game, with just a normal primary, special and heavy, obviously with the grenade launcher and like rocket launchers being in the heavy slot, fusions, shotguns and snipers, and possibly like sidearms being in special, and then obviously pretty much everything else in the normal primary. The main reason for that is just because of the snowball effects that are happening in PvP. At the moment, because power armor spawns up so much, a lot more frequently, a lot more people can get their hands on power armor now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. In my opinion, it can get quite frustrating though, because it creates like a snowball effect, is what I would call. You know, if someone's got power armor and you've got and you don't, 9 times out of 10 you're probably just gonna get killed. There's not a lot you can do. You can't really kill them fast enough whilst they're rushing towards you to counter it, because the time to kill is so slow. So it's just a combination of issues, you know, like weapon system, slow time to kill. Yeah, it all pairs together and it just feels really awkward, at least in my opinion. The next thing is, if someone's running towards you with a super, there is literally nothing you can do, or what it appears to be anyway. For example, if an Axe Rider is running towards me, I don't even bother to challenge it, I just turn around and run away. There's just, every super can like close the distance so quickly now that unless you've got power armor or another super to counter it, there's just not a lot you can do. which in Destiny 1 you could have done something. You know, if you had a shotgun or a sniper, you could have actually taken aim, popped them out with your sniper, or you could have just jumped up in the air, shotgun meleeed them, and then that's them out, you know? So supers in Destiny 1 were counterable. In this game, not so much. So that's, again, a huge issue. It's just, mainly for me, it's just annoying because I know I could survive that situation if I had power ammo, or if I had, you know, a special weapon or something. I know I could counter it, or I know I could at least try to, at least, you know, whereas, no, I just feel helpless. This is nothing I can do, I have to run away, so it's an issue, at least in my opinion. Rumble is, I mean, Rumble at the moment is pretty butt cheeks, in all honesty. 8 players is just too much on certain maps. The maps are really small, you know, especially if you get burnout, it's just ridiculous. You can spawn trap people, especially if you've got something like a fusion. As soon as they spawn, burst them your fusion, run away. They're probably going to spawn there again, or someone else's anyway. So you can come back and you can just farm the same spot on the map over and over again, because there's been too many people. So definitely an issue. I'd like to see it knocked down to 6 players instead of 8. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really too much else to speak about. That's pretty much all my thoughts and opinions on the update. So to summarise it up, I still want a faster time to kill. I want hand cannons to be a little bit better. Obviously, they would be better though if they were a free tap, if the time to kill got increased. I feel like that would make them a little bit more competitive. Actually, before we end the video, I want to talk about mercy rules. This is a big one for me. One second, I need to move and get comfortable for this one so I don't get triggered. Mercy rules in Crucible need to be readjusted, and I can't express this enough. It is ridiculous that one person has to stay in a match 1v4 in, like, I mean, because they've increased the score limits for matches, which would go well with 6v6, and then it's just, oh, it's so weird. Like, I can't even explain it. The amount of people, obviously, that leave in quick play is just insane. I still think they need to add a quitter penalty into quick play. I haven't played one game since this patch came out where every single person stayed in the match. It's ridiculous. So that definitely needs to be addressed. Match, you know, teams against teams if it's needed, if people keep whining and moaning. But something needs to be sorted. Mercy rules need to be looked at. I think if one person is left on the team, I think it should just end the game immediately. It should just be a mercy or a forfeit. Something of that nature. There needs to be a way of ending the games quicker. Maybe if half your team leaves, say if it's 4v4, if 2 of your team leave, you know, then it's 2v4, it just ends the game, you know, as like a forfeit. Because in the game, in the current state it's in, it's pretty much impossible to win a 2v4 anyway. So yeah, I mean, that's that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. They definitely need to be looked at because there's so many situations. I mean, there was a poor guy this morning. I was playing with some friends. It was, obviously, we were in a team of 4. All of his teammates left. 2 of them left before the game even started, just because they saw a team of 4. The other guy left straight away as soon as he spawned in because he saw, well, I've only got one teammate. And then there was one guy left in the match. Not one other person got joined into the game. He was in there on his own until the timer ran out. It was just stupid. Like, that sort of stuff is just unfair. People don't enjoy stuff like that. I can't imagine how frustrating of an experience that was for him. So yeah, definitely needs to be looked at. That's my final thoughts and opinions on the update. Is new weapon system definitely needs to be a thing. Time to kill still needs to be a lot quicker than what it currently is. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Do I think this update will bring people back? Probably not. I think this update is more to keep the people playing that are actually currently playing the game, to make the game more enjoyable for those people. I think the next big thing that will draw people back is either the next DLC, which is coming in May, if I remember correctly, or the Fall expansion that's already been announced. you know, by Activision in an investment call. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day, and yeah.